What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live here on a Friday. I got the day right because it's not our normal Monday, Thursday. There was only one game for picks against the spread yesterday, and I said with 2 off days, why not just move it back to Friday, where we got 11 games to pick from today. I'll also share my ideal trade target that I think is somewhat realistic. If you know who it is, because we had a conversation in our Twitter group chat, don't spoil it. Please don't spoil it. I want to keep the suspense until after picks against the spread. Anyway, Eric, how's your day going?
Oh, pretty good. I also listened to Damian Lillard on Casey Holdall's podcast, so wanted to talk about a couple things I heard him say from that.
Yeah, we actually got some stuff to talk about today, which is exciting. But first, we got to do the fan favorite picks against the spread. Once again, this is presented by betonline.ag. All the spreads in this segment are brought to you by BetOnline. You can get in on any of these spreads by visiting BetOnline and using the promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, and you can receive 50% rewards. So if you've been batting above 500 so far this season on these spread picks, not only could you maybe make some money, but you could also get 50% rewards with that promo code BELIEVE. Anyway, here are a look at the standings. Eric, you and Jackson struggled. Everybody else pretty much caught up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, going 4-6, but taking over first, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, so 8-2 day from Connor. He's only 5 games back of first. Good job, Connor. Everybody won their double down except you two as well, which is kind of crazy. I'm still struggling on double downs, much like last year. So is Zach, but he's kind of brought it back after starting like 0-6. And things are bunched up. Aeromancer's only 12 games back. He's 20 games under 500, but he's only 12 games back on the season. Collectively, we are definitely below 500. Any other thoughts on this? This could be some big changes.
I'm a Lakers collapse away from having a good day with you guys, and and being 6-6 in double downs, but they had like a 16 or 17 point lead with a few minutes left, and that's when Nembhard hit that 3.
Yep, they collapsed to the Pacers. My guy, Andrew Nembhard from Gonzaga, hitting that 3. I loved it, but unfortunately, the Lakers couldn't collapse against us. But let's not even think about the Blazers because they don't play today, and I don't want to. Let's jump into game number 1. We got the Charlotte Hornets hosting the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards are a 4-point road favorite.
Yep, and for the Wizards, we have Rui Hachimura out and DeLon Wright out. For the Hornets, they are without LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, Dennis Smith Jr., and Cody Martin.
All right, there's your chat poll. I am going with the Washington Wizards.
Connor is going Wizards as well. I am going Wizards too. Jackson, Trevin, Aeromancer, Zach, all with Washington too. Might have a sweep.
So everybody except chat so far, huh?
Yep. I think Zach went chat. He said, wash this pick.
Yeah, that's Washington. Wash this pick. I don't think we've had have we had a sweep all season?
I don't know if we have. Because we've had people like vote beforehand, so
Joey, yes, Nurkic's finishing hasn't been good this year, but we're not going to hijack this segment with how much we talk about that.
And last post-game stream we talked about that at length too, about
yeah, we can talk about it a little bit later, but as I said, I don't want to think about the Blazers until this segment's done. Anyway, Wizards for chat. I was going to let them see if they can get themselves an island, but nope. We got a sweep. Might be the first one of the season. I don't remember. Game number 2, you got the Boston Celtics hosting the Miami Heat. Boston is a 7-point home favorite.
All right. For the Nuggets, they're without Michael Porter Jr. and Jeff Green. Jamal Murray is currently still listed as...
Wait, Boston versus Miami. Boston versus Miami. Boston versus Miami.
Sorry, got the wrong game here. For some reason, yours is always out of order from...
I just do it based on the Bet Online order.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I did too, but...
I don't know. That's weird then.
Boston's without Robert Williams. The Heat are without Victor Oladipo and Omer Yurtseven. Nikola Jovic, Dwayne Dedmon, questionable. And they have like 6 guys probable, including Jimmy Butler expected to make his return tonight, Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Smith, all likely to play.
Technically, both these teams are without the players that you were mentioning.
Yes.
When you mess things up. So you aren't wrong.
Yeah, technically.
Trevin, Tori DM'd me and told me he would let me pick both teams next week. What? This man's wildin' Zach's on his full Zach arc today. Alright, what are you thinking?
Connor has the Heat. Jackson also has the Heat.
Alright. Heat for Connor and Jackson.
I am going Celtics. Trevin and Aeromancer are Celtics.
Connor and Jackson were the Heat. There we go. I think I'm gonna go with the green team. And Zach is also going with the green team.
I was going to say, is this really a tough decision?
And chat is going with the red team. I mean, it was for 3 of them. 3 of them chose the wrong team. So I chose the right team, which is the green team. All right. Game number 3, we got the Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Milwaukee is a 9-point home favorite.
All right. For this game, we have Dennis Schroeder is out. LeBron, Anthony Davis, both were listed as probable, but it looks like they're both going to play. And then for the Bucks, Marjon Beauchamp, Serge Ibaka, and Joe Ingles are out. But making his season debut, it looks like Chris Middleton is playing tonight.
Okay, there's the chat poll.
Jackson has Lakers.
Jackson Lakers, all right.
Connor and Trevin are Bucks.
Connor and Trevin are Bucks.
Aeromancer Lakers.
I don't know what to do with this, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think I'm just going to take the points and take the Lakers, even though I shouldn't.
I'm going to go Bucks. You said who else was Lakers?
Aeromancer.
Aeromancer was Lakers and Jackson was Lakers?
Yep. Still waiting on Zach.
Chat is 60% Bucks. And Zach is Bucks as well. Cool. All right, game number 4 of 11. Atlanta's hosting Denver. Denver's a 3.5-point road favorite. Here you go, Eric. Here's your chance to shine.
All right, let me see if there's been an update on Jamal Murray since it's almost 4 o'clock. Doesn't look like it. So Jamal Murray's questionable. Michael Porter Jr., Jeff Green out. And then for Atlanta, it's a mess. John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Trent Forrest, Justin Holiday, all out. Bogdan Bogdanovic looks like he's making his season debut. He's going to play tonight. And then they still list Trae Young, Clint Capella, Jalen Johnson, and Frank Kaminsky as questionable.
Jeez. I'm just going to take Denver because what the hell?
Yeah. And that would be why they're...
This game tips off in 40 minutes and there's still that many guys questionable. That's rare.
Yeah, I'm just going to look through and see if I can find anything about them. Nope.
I guess it's more so 40 minutes. But all right, Denver for Jackson. Aeromancer says coin flip time. Good luck to Eric's coin.
What?
To Arrow's coin.
Oh, I thought I said Eric's coin.
I think I did say Arrow's coin.
Connor has the Hawks.
Alright, Connor is rolling with the Atlanta Hawks.
I'm going to take the
He's trying to
Nuggets
kill his
with
momentum. Connor's trying to kill his momentum off an 8-2 day. He's going to take the Hawks with their entire team out or questionable.
Zach
I don't even know if they'll play today.
Zach is joining him.
Well,
DeJounte Murray wasn't on their injury report. So. Or,
yeah, he can
or
lock down
AJ
Jokic.
Griffin or Onyeka Okongwu.
Yeah. AJ Griffin is
Arrow,
Michael Porter trash can.
You talked Arrowmancer and Zach, I think, into taking the Hawks as well.
Well, it's easy money, Denver.
Trevin. Man, why do you say it? Can I switch my pick?
I just want to watch the chat poll crater.
Trevin is Nuggets.
Alright, Trevin's. I keep clicking the wrong thing.
You're just throwing.
Chat's Denver. This might be their double down, so maybe I want to lose this, Eric. Maybe that's big brain.
We have a trade to announce. What are you talking about, Jackson?
We're trading Jackson to Suns Valley podcast for Roy. Anyway, game number 5. We got the Brooklyn Nets hosting the Toronto Raptors. Brooklyn is a 1.5 point home favorite.
All right, so the Raptors are without Precious Achiuwa and Otto Porter Jr. Just going to see if there's any other injuries. Brooklyn Nets are without Ben Simmons, Yuta Watanabe, and also making his season debut or multi-year season debut is TJ Warren playing tonight, looks like.
His decade debut.
Mm-hmm.
Trade me to the unemployment office. That's like so funny. I am gonna go with the Raptors.
Connor is going Nets.
Okay, I like this pick. Trevin, that's because I made that trade like 2 hours ago. Just coming out now, though.
Zach says Raptors. Arrowmancer's Raptors. Jackson's Raptors. Man.
Trevin's Raptors. Eric is...
Screw you, Nets. I'm taking the Raptors, but I know the Nets are going to win now. Because when I don't pick them, they win. When I pick them, they lose. So.
Well, it is a Connor Island. Congratulations, Connor. You now own an island. Next game, Cleveland's hosting Orlando. Cleveland is a 10.5 point home favorite.
10.5. Nice. Orlando is without Jalen Suggs, Mo Bamba, Gary Harris, Chuma Okeke, Wendell Carter Jr., and Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac. The Cavs are without Jared Allen, Ricky Rubio, looks like, and Dylan Windler. Lamar Stevens, Kevin Love look like they're going to play.
Dude, Dylan Windler never plays.
I know. He played like one random game against us a couple years ago. Or was that last season, maybe?
Yeah. How's that dude still on their team? He's literally like injured 99% of the time.
Yeah.
It's baffling. Like, what is he even injured with?
I don't know. I feel like the Cavs don't play well without Jared Allen, so I'm going to just take the points and go with the Magic here.
Yeah, and they got Bankero back.
Looks like
I'm taking the Magic as well.
Looks like Jackson, Zach, Arrow, and Trevin are all the same.
Jeez, we're going to just get full agreement. All right. Waiting on Connor.
Connor's is Cavs.
Okay, Connor is an island. Once again. Oh, nope. Chat loves going with the favorite. They go Cavs, 69%.
Ooh. Interesting. High number, too. Not as high as the Nuggets.
Yeah.
All
right.
It's at 52.
Yeah. Game number, I don't know.
They tried to crater it at the last minute.
Did they? What did it get down to?
52.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's why it's... See, when I hit end poll, it was at 69%. That's why I just go based off of what it was at end poll. Well, like, for percentages, just do it. But if it's ever a tie, the tiebreaker is who it was. Yeah. Memphis is hosting Philadelphia in this one, and Memphis is a 5-point home favorite.
All right. So, Memphis is without Desmond Bane, Zaire Williams, Danny Green, Jake LaRavia doubtful. For the Sixers, they still are without Maxey and Harden. Tobias Harris questionable with an illness.
Ooh. I mean, you got Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. to throw against Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris questionable. I'm going to go with the Grizzlies, despite them not having Jake LaRavia.
Myself is going with the Grizzlies along with Jackson, Trevin.
Me go with Grizzlies.
Arrow, Grizzlies.
Okay. Me, you.
Jackson.
Arrow, Jackson.
Trevin.
And Trevin.
And Connor is 76ers.
Connor's either going to pop off or get buried in 7th.
He might be last. Yeah. I already know who you're picking next game too, Jackson.
Zach says, me and Connor Island.
So...
He's going with the Sixers.
Yeah.
That's what that means. And chat's also going with the Sixers.
You know, you could say your pick and then make commentary afterwards. But no. Chat's got some differing opinions tonight. Interesting.
Yeah, chat's feeling frisky on a Friday. All right, San Antonio's hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans is a 7-point road favorite.
Looks like CJ is going to play tonight. Other than that, they still have Brandon Ingram out. Herb Jones is out. Najee Marshall is probable. The Spurs have...
Can you re-say that? Because I'm deaf.
CJ McCollum and Najee Marshall look like they're going to play.
Okay.
They missed the last couple games. Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones are both out.
Okay.
For the Spurs, we have Blake Wesley, Jeremy Sohan, Jakob Poeltl, Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, Charles Bassey, all out.
So after this, we're going to have to talk about Nasir Little being out for 6 weeks, Eric.
Oh. Awesome. Femoral head impaction.
What even is that? Femoral head impaction.
Well, I'm guessing that's where the femur goes into your hip.
Goes into your head.
your hip. So like the head of the femur bone.
Yeah, no, I just... Yeah, you don't want to combine your femur and your head.
I'm going Pelicans. Connor is going Pelicans
as well. Connor is actually going to agree with us.
Zach says Spurs. Interesting. Trevin is Pelicans, of course.
Yeah, Jackson's going to be...
Spurs. Yep.
Sure about that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's a closet Spurs fan. All right. We got Aeromancer going with the Pelicans, and then we got Chat going with the Pelicans as well. Might be their double down. We'll see if that percentage craters or something, but
65%.
It was at 76 when I ended. All right. 3 more games. This one we got Phoenix hosting the Houston Rockets. Phoenix is a whopping 11.5 point home favorite.
All right. So only Jayshawn Tate is listed out for the Rockets. For the Suns, they're without Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig, and of course Chris Paul, who was just outed last night for sleeping with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe that, but that's hilarious. The Kim K Chris Paul stuff, not anything else that Kanye said yesterday.
Yeah.
Piece of crap. Anyway. Just want to get that out there.
Mm-hmm. Connor and Jackson say Rockets.
Okay, I'm going Suns.
Zach and Trevin are Suns. Man. Zach had a dream last night where he met Devin Booker.
I had a dream where I realized I was having a dream and was able to stay in that dream, but, like, it was very trippy. I couldn't control anything. I was trying to control my dream, and I couldn't. It was like playing basketball. It was like before a game. I was in, like, the pregame locker room or something. I have a lot of dreams playing basketball. Who are you going with?
I'm going to take the points, even though the Rockets didn't cover last game.
And chat is going with the Phoenix Suns, just barely, though. All right. We got Utah hosting the Indiana Pacers. Utah's a 4.5 point home favorite.
All right. In this one, we got... Man, I'm bummed about Nassir, but... we got Daniel Tice, Chris Duarte, both out. Tyrese Halliburton with a groin injury is a game-time decision. That's tough. Mike Conley, Rudy Gay out for Utah.
Bonnie, I tried not waking up. I was trying to control everything.
Connor and Jackson are going Pacers.
Okay.
Man. I don't know, so I like to just take the points in those situations, so I'm going to take the Pacers.
I'm going with the Jazz.
Trevin is too. And Zach, Jazz, Aeromancer, Pacers.
You know what? Let me change these Pacers logos to yellow. Chat's 52% Pacers. All right, final game. We got Golden State hosting the Chicago Bulls. Golden State is a 7-point home favorite.
All right. So for the Bulls, they're, of course, without Lonzo Ball. Looks like Alex Caruso is going to play. The Golden State Warriors only list Andre Iguodala on their injury report. I'm going to take the Warriors. They've been playing really well lately.
I'm taking the Warriors as well.
Connor is going Bulls. Aeromancer Bulls. Jackson Bulls. Trevin Golden State. Zach, I think, is taking the Bulls.
Zach says Bulls won't win, but they'll cover. So that's the Bulls. All right, chat's going Warriors, so we got a split vote. Nice. Get some disagreement at the end of this. And let's jump into double downs. Jackson's double down is Washington.
That's also Connor's.
You guys are colluding.
Chat's double down is... Well, he had no way of knowing that was his double down. Chat's double down is Denver.
They colluded before this. Just like saying that word, it's a fun word to say.
Aeromancer's colluding.
Aeromancer goes Wizards?
Yeah. Trevin is colluding.
I was gonna go Wizards, you assholes!
Well, why can't you still go Wizards?
I just, that's boring. Do we make this whole graphic blue?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna pick the Wizards, so...
Well, you gotta pick a blue team, that's the theme.
Alright.
Actually, I'm not going Wizards. Wait, no, I said easy money Denver. I can't go Denver now. Oh boy.
I'm gonna take the Warriors as mine.
You're taking the Warriors? I'm taking the Pelicans.
Okay. That's 1, 2. I think Zach's doing Atlanta for his double down.
Oh, bro, look at the graphic, and you're gonna go with a team that's red and white. I'm disappointed.
That's fine.
Doing the white logo so there's as little red as possible. There you go. All right, Zach. 4 people going Wizards. We'll see if they take care of business. I'm going Pelicans. Chat's going Denver. Eric, you're going Golden State. Zach, Atlanta. That is picks against the spread. Once again, that is presented by BetOnline. All the spreads in this segment are available on BetOnline. One game has just tipped off. That is this one, which these graphics down below still change. Everybody had Wizards in that one, but every other spread you can get in on by using the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, 50% rewards on BetOnline. All right. So... change of programming for a second. Nasir Little out 6 weeks.
Yeah, just a bummer because you felt like, I don't know, he just didn't seem himself this year so far, coming off the injury both last year and in the offseason. That combined with he just hasn't been able to stay healthy any of his seasons. Every time he gets some momentum going, it seems like he has some sort of injury. And the Blazers' lack of depth right now with other injuries combined with them really needing one of their wings off the bench to step up. Unfortunately, now we don't even have that to be a chance to be Nasir Little. So, yeah, just a bummer, I guess. But, I mean, he hasn't played well recently. He had a good stretch there in the middle of the season, but... yeah, hasn't played well last few games prior to the injury. So, yeah, I think you hope he just gets right and maybe he comes back with playing a little better. Maybe this helps out his core injury a little more, heal a little better or something. I don't know what was wrong with him, but yeah, it's just unfortunate, man. I don't know if we can count on him going forward.
Yeah, at this point, he's injury prone, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just too many injuries. He can't stay healthy, and it's always something. And this year it was like, okay, well, you know what? We'll figure out a lot about Nasir Little this year. Whether it's that he can play the whole season, that he can consistently shoot, or maybe he ends up getting injured again. At that point, I don't know how you can say he is an injury prone, that you can rely on him for an entire season to stay healthy. Obviously, that's not his fault. I'm not criticizing him, but, you know, some guys just can't stay healthy, unfortunately, and it is what it is. See, he seems like one of those guys. He was starting to struggle to shoot the ball. It would have been interesting to see if he would have recovered. But yeah, at this point, it's hard to rely on him to be a part of your rotation. Hopefully GP2 comes back because GP2 will be able to replace his role and then some, I think, if GP2 is healthy. But yeah, it's a bummer. Luckily, the long-term deal he's on is cost-controlled and probably could be used as filler salary, I guess. But even then, I don't know. I could see a team being like, well, he can't stay healthy. He hasn't really proven anything, and we don't want him on the books for 4 years at $7 million a year, which kind of seems crazy. But at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if there were teams out there that thought that.
Well, yeah, I mean, every time someone brought him up to trade him, we both said this, I think, is that he doesn't really have enough value to value. And now this makes it salary. Now this makes it even more just filler. So now it's not even.
See, that's my whole thing. Is from the get go, he was just going to be filler salary if he was traded, in order to match something or stay below the tax or whatnot this season. Now I don't even I think there might be some teams out there that don't want him as a filler salary because of how injury plagued he's been, and he hasn't really consistently proven something. I think those teams would be in the minority. I think a lot of teams would just be willing to take that on and see if they can make something out of him. I mean, look at the Spurs and what they signed Zach Collins to after he didn't play for a while. $7 million isn't much at all, especially for a guy that young with supposedly some upside, but still.
Well, also $7 million is less than, I think, most of the top 4 or 5 picks in the draft make now, so it's not.
But you ain't taking him in the top 5.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, a rebuilding team that doesn't want long-term big contract. I'm just thinking the difference between the 76ers trading Tobias Harris or something, is those kind of contracts are still worse in my opinion than someone making less than a lot of rookies would make. So, but I don't see why we'd just throw him in a trade unless it was absolutely necessary for money either, because we'd be selling at his lowest possible value.
Yeah, but I mean, how much value does he truly have to us at this point? Because he can't stay healthy, and I mean, it just sucks. I feel bad for him. Hopefully, if that core injury wasn't fully recovered, I don't know what the deal was, but he wasn't as explosive as he has been in the past. It just sucks because he was a piece that the Blazers needed to break out, and he hasn't and has gotten injured again, so it sucks. But the thing is with his salary, the Blazers don't have a lot of middle tier salary that they would trade. At this point, okay, go ahead.
Well, keep in mind, though, that it is a poison pill, technically. I know it doesn't really a reasonable one, but it only counts as $4 million outgoing for us, regardless of...
And it counts as $6 million incoming, so...
No, I mean, but it's still not a mid-salary. It's still pretty low as a salary.
I'm saying we don't have mid-salaries.
Yeah.
Because we don't have mid-salaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have... What do you count as a mid-salary?
7 to 13-ish, probably.
Yeah, we have
Josh Hart is.
Josh Hart is $13 million, but how are you going to find a player that's noticeably better than him and then give up other assets to bridge that gap and trade Josh Hart? I don't think Josh Hart is really a viable trade piece because he does a lot of things, and idealistically in the future, maybe he's a sixth man, not a starter, but he can play, numerous roles and can fit to those roles, and that's the type of glue guy you need on a team.
I guess technically in 13 days Gary Payton's tradable.
Yeah, so that's the other guy I was going to bring up. That's the other guy in that $7 to $13 million range, but given how badly this team needs good point of attack defenders, I don't see how the team gets better trading Gary Payton his salary. Shaedon Sharpe's making $6 million. You're not going to trade him for anything other than a star.
The only thing I can think of with Payton is if a team like the Warriors really wanted him back or something, and it'd probably have to be a 3-team trade or something, but we somehow get a really good piece because of how desperate the Warriors need him back or something.
Yeah, but what?
I don't really
trade him for Moody. That's going backwards.
I was saying a 3-team trade, but yeah, there was a rumor that they would possibly be willing to offer Wiseman for Payton, which is weird, but I don't even know if that's a good deal for Portland at this point.
That's not really what you need. You
Yeah.
need point of attack defense. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, and that's what we're going to talk about in a bit with my trade target is you need the right collection of role players that do certain things well. And that's how this team is going to get to contention, because I think you have enough at the top with Dame, Ant, and Jeremy Grant in terms of just offensive firepower to get there. You just need to have a good enough defense, and that starts with being able to defend at the point of attack, which Portland's really been struggling with. Trading Josh Hart or Gary Payton, it's going to be hard to improve our point of attack defense trading either of those guys. So what it comes down to, Eric, is in terms of trade chips at the deadline, obviously you're willing to put like Nurkic or Hart in play if you're getting back, I don't know, a superstar,
player, yeah.
a Kevin Durant, you know what I mean? But outside of that, the trade chips that I think will be in play or should be in play is Nasir Little, who's making $4 million, Justice Winslow, who's making $4 million, and Keon Johnson, who's making 2.6. You can also throw Greg Brown III in there, but I think Portland will probably try and duck the tax, so throwing his contract into a trade, I mean, doesn't really do anything for trying to duck the tax. Matching salary and ducking tax, staying under the tax when you're up against it, is two different equations, basically.
Well,
because one, you're trying to stay under a hard number, and you have to fill those roster spots. In terms of matching salary in a trade, you just have to get within a certain percentage. You could trade 4 out for 1 and not have to consider the other guys you sign.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to stay under the tax and you trade 4 guys for 1, if you traded, Little, Winslow, Keon Johnson, and Greg Brown for somebody making $12 million, sure, you probably, I don't know what those guys add up to, but sure, you probably don't go into the tax if you trade for somebody making 11 or 12 million. But since it's a 4-for-1 trade, you have to sign guys to roster spots that are going to push you over the tax. So that is the situation. But I think Nasir Little and Justice Winslow will be two guys that kind of add up to a middle salary piece, and then maybe you throw in Keon Johnson to get that up to like 10.5 million outgoing, and you can trade for somebody on an MLE and then sign a couple roster spots and maybe stay under.
Yeah. Well, one thing, as we get into the 2023 part of the season, at some point contracts can be prorated. So near the deadline, I could see a scenario where they do trade Greg Brown with nothing coming back, maybe like a top 55 protected second or something. Or maybe there's a team that wants to take a chance on him. Maybe you get an actual second for him. And then you basically sign 2 players to like 600,000 or 700,000 prorated salaries at that point for the rest of the season to fill 2 spots. So you're basically just turning 1 roster spot into 2.
Yeah.
So
there's creative ways around
they're going to have to definitely find ways around it if they want to stay under the tax, because it's looking more and more like they're going to need to make a move.
Yeah. But recently we had a conversation about which teams are for sure like the bottom feeders, and we named 5, and there's actually a player on one of those teams that I think would be a really good trade target that I completely overlooked when we were having that conversation. But first, let's like rehash what type of player off the bench I feel like we need. You can disagree or agree, but I feel like the Blazers need a 3-and-D guy that can be solid at the point of attack with preferably some length and some size, right? That's what we identified. Now, the problem is with our salary situation, as we just laid out, that player can't be making a whole lot. So there is one target, I think, Eric, that fits that bill. And we talked about Jaden McDaniels from Minnesota, right? And when we brought him up, I forgot, he has a brother named Jalen McDaniels who plays for the Charlotte Hornets. Jalen McDaniels is like the one guy I can find. He's a unrestricted free agent next year, according to Spot Track. He's on a Charlotte team that is an absolute mess. He's 24 years of age, so he's still relatively young, but maybe not a part of their future. And I mean, who knows what the hell their future is, right? He makes $2 million, so he'd be easy to match. He's shooting 38%, like right around 38% from 3 right now on, I think it was 3 attempts per game. Let me pull up his stats here just so I
3.4.
3.4 attempts per game. And at the point of attack, he's not like a lockdown guy, but he's serviceable. And he can fight through screens better than Jeremy Grant can. At least that's what it seems like. A little bit of the tape I've watched. And then can slide his feet. Like he's decently quick laterally. He's 6'8", without shoes, Eric, 6'8". He could be that forward off the bench, that 3-and-D forward that can be somebody that you can put up against guards, and maybe he's not going to get cooked like Winslow has been or Jeremy Grant has been. And that's the type of backup 4 I think this team needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad option. I saw something when you were talking about him in the GC from someone posted something from a Charlotte board that said his point of attack defense has actually been really bad. I don't know.
I heard not great.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is. I obviously he doesn't. He kind of. I mean, he's playing 25, almost 26 minutes a game this year, so a lot more than normal. But outside of the Blazers game,
you heard that his point of attack defense was really bad. Is that what you heard, like verbatim, or was it the quote that said his point of attack defense was not great?
I don't remember what it was, but
yeah, because I saw a quote from a Charlotte board that said his point of attack defense isn't great, but isn't great doesn't mean it's not good, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't great doesn't mean it's not serviceable, right? So that's the thing, is it's hard without watching a bunch of Charlotte games, and it's hard to watch a bunch of Charlotte games. Speaking of Charlotte, they're playing right now, so maybe I'll put that on in the background because I do have League Pass. But he seems generally quick laterally, like maybe a little quicker than Justice. There was a clip shared in the GC where he was impressive getting through a screen. It was on Dasumu, forced a turnover. Like, you're not going to find the perfect player that's gettable for a reasonable price that isn't making much. Mm-hmm. So you gotta go out and get a guy. I mean, he's shooting 38% from 3. We talk about how we need shooting off the bench. He has been shooting the 3-ball well. He shot 37% last year from 3. He's a proven 3-point shooter. He has size. He has some length. And it seems like he might be solid enough point of attack defender where he's not going to get cooked, because that's the problem. Anybody we put up against guards is getting cooked right now. So
he's kind of, in my mind, a early in his career poor man Jeremy Grant.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like a young role player Jeremy Grant. So that'd be the guy I would take a look at, because he only makes $2 million. Could come in. I don't know what it'd cost. I would probably. I don't know if I'd trade Keon for him, but if GP2 comes back and is healthy, I feel like we need somebody in the front court that can knock down threes and defend. I feel like this team would be better with Jalen McDaniels than Keon if Gary Payton II's back.
Especially with Nas out for a while.
Yeah. And you still have Sharp, so you still have your 5-man perimeter rotation with Dame, Ant, Hart, GP2, and Sharp. Those guys can play point guard, shooting guard, small forward. There's surely enough minutes to go around. Guys have actually been overplaying, so even without Nas, I think that's fine. I know a lot of you guys love Justice Winslow. I don't think his passing ability is that necessary, and he's been getting cooked when he guards, and he cannot make a shot. He can't, like, last game he made 3 for 3 from 3. That's going to, like, carry his 3-point percentage for a little bit. He's at 32% now, Eric, but that was one of the flukiest performance shooting. Honestly, the 3 for 3 from 3 for Justice last game was more of a shocking shooting performance than what Ant did against Denver. Mm-hmm. So, I think you need shooting. I think you need somebody that's a little better on guards than Justice is defending guards, and I think that's Jalen McDaniels. So I would definitely take a hard look at him. And he kind of fits that, $2 million cheap young guy with maybe a little bit more upside. Like, Nasir's been a guy I like as a backup center for those reasons for a while. He can kind of shoot and put the ball on the floor and block some shots. So, could help with our spacing. Basically, he could be Drew Eubanks with the 3-point shot, I feel like.
Yeah.
That can also dribble a little bit. So that's the other guy I'd look at for the center position. Nasir would be has been a guy that I would have liked. And, because we just don't have enough shooting on the bench right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do think maybe playing on a little better team, maybe see a slight bump in percentages, playing off like Dame and Ant.
Yeah. Somebody said DeMarcus Cousins on a 10-day. Can't sign 10 days until January, and DeMarcus Cousins is not going to solve the defense or the shooting issue.
Mm-hmm.
We need shooting off the bench, and we need defense. We need point of attack defense, but it would help if we had some elite shot blocking center off the bench, which Eubanks is not. Obviously, Nurkic isn't. So that's what we need. Any trade targets you guys come up with, or free agent targets or buyout targets, need to fix one of those issues. I don't feel like DeMarcus fixes anything.
And maybe if we were 14-7 right now and feeling good about ourselves, we'd consider signing someone and going to the tax, or maybe trying to duck it at the trade deadline, but not worrying about that right now. But the fact that we're back down to 500, I think, is going to eliminate any possibility of doing that.
Trevin says we need a stretch big and a playmaking wing. What makes you say we need a playmaking wing? We have Hart and we have Grant, and then Winslow's supposed to be that playmaker, right? I don't see how we need a playmaking wing right now.
Man.
I don't really understand that. Oh, never mind. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Man, I was just goofing around at Fanspo with the Hornets roster.
Yeah.
I know this. You're not gonna like this, but if they gave up on Mark Williams, would you not want him on the roster along with Jalen McDaniels?
I'd take him for free, of course. I'd take him. It depends on what we're giving up, obviously. Yeah. But I didn't like Mark Williams being drafted in the lottery.
Yeah.
They should have taken Tari Eason, man. It's you pass on the chance to take Duran, who has more upside than Mark Williams. And then you take Mark Williams instead of just saying, okay, well, actually, we're not chasing a center. Let's go out and get a good defensive player with some upside in Tari Eason or somebody like that. I thought Tari Eason made a ton of sense for them. I didn't like what they did in drafting him, but if you add him to our team, I'm fine with him. He has length and can block shots and can dunk, Yeah,
maybe that would be the type of big that would help us.
Yeah, but them with Charlotte, too, is depending on... it would probably take too much, but PJ Washington isn't making much either, and that could maybe he's 6'8", but has really long arms, solid standing reach. He could be your backup center that can shoot.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nas for Mark Williams and Jalen McDaniels works. They would have to really sour to do that, I think.
Yeah, I don't think.
If we threw on Keon, it still works and puts us...
Well, see, that's my thing, is how interested would they be in Keon, because they don't have a ton of guard depth. They've been playing Theo Maledon, who you like, but...
they have a lot of guard depth that's just not healthy.
Well, they have LaMelo and Rozier, which are their starting guards, and then who's behind that? Book Knight hasn't looked good. You got Maledon, who I feel like he could be one of the guys that gets cut mid-season randomly.
So
I don't really know what else they have.
So right now, would you trade Nas and Keon for Jalen McDaniels and Mark Williams?
That's I feel like that's a little too steep.
Yeah. It made you think for a second, though.
If we got PJ Washington instead of Mark Williams?
Yeah. I think we probably have to give up a first to get PJ.
Yeah. So that's the problem. It's too much on Charlotte's end to give up PJ instead of Mark Williams, and it's too much on our end to just take on Mark Williams. Ibu Pachi is not Mark Williams 2.0. But yeah, that basically... Charlotte's an interesting team because of some of the pieces they have, and they're just an absolute mess. If I had to bet on the Blazers making a trade with any team this year, you can clip it. All right, we'll see if I'm right. If I had to bet on one team the Blazers make a trade with this year, it's the Charlotte Hornets. All right? Now, obviously, it's more likely they don't make a trade with Charlotte than they do, but if I had to pick a team, it would be Charlotte. Because Jalen McDaniels and PJ Washington make sense for this team that needs shooting. And Jalen McDaniels, I think, can be okay defensively. Maybe good defensively. I don't know. It's hard to say. So that's a guy to watch if you guys are bored and have League Pass or something. I'd pay attention to Jalen McDaniels. And let me know what you think of his defense and that sort of thing. Steve Peterson says, you can clip it. Simons is getting moved at the deadline. You can clip it. No, he's not. That's absolutely not going to happen. And that's absolutely ridiculous to say. You were in here before the stream started saying that a player like TJ McConnell would be better for this team than Anthony Simons. Stop hating on Anthony Simons. Tiring. Like, well, at the start of the stream, you said a 10-point per game scorer that plays defense, that's a point guard, that gets teammates involved, is better, like, greater than Anthony Simons. So you're basically describing TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell would not make this team a better team if you replaced Anthony Simons with him, man. Come on. I can't imagine how ugly things would be. Eric, you're still muted, by the way. I can't imagine how ugly things would be these past few games if you didn't have Anthony Simons' scoring.
Yeah. And I mean, TJ McConnell would be I think he would fix a lot of our issues off the bench. But yeah, not replacing one of our top 3 players, you know?
Yeah. But you have Gary Payton II to play guard minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's how you build a team. You get enough star power, offensive power, right? And then you put players around them that make it easy for them to be good offensively, that space the floor, that'll cut when those guys get doubled, that'll make basic plays when those guys get trapped on the pick and roll, okay? And then you need enough defensive pieces around them so that you have a good defense. That's how you build a great team in the NBA. That is the key.
Yep.
So, anyway.
All right. Yeah. So people are mentioning that, or someone, AJ said that I was thinking about TJ as a backup. The problem is he's in that mid-range that we were talking about a few minutes ago where he makes like $8 million. It's really hard for us to match salary. And even if we're talking about like Nas and Winslow or something, like, one, I don't think the Blazers do that. And two, like we still need to sign someone. So we're right back into the tax again. I don't think they're even looking at moves like that for players like role players that would put us in the tax.
Yep. Agreed. So you wanted to talk about some Dame quotes before we sign off with this?
Yeah, so Dame was on Casey Holdall's The Balcony, something. Balcony. I forgot the name of it. But Casey interviewed him the other day and actually made me feel a lot better about Dame's injury situation. He said that the last injury, the first calf injury, he was in the gym twice a day, pushing it, like rehabbing, trying to like act like he could just power through it, kind of.
Yeah.
And then he said this time they made him like sit and not do anything for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
The briefcase. Yeah, thanks. It's the
briefcase.
The Balcony is the one with Brooke and Casey. But yeah, so he said this time they made him sit, and that when he sat for a couple days and didn't do any basketball or exercise stuff on it, he said he woke up after a few days and it all of a sudden it didn't even, like he couldn't even tell it was injured. He said he felt no pain in it, and then started working out from there, and he feels pretty much 100%. And yeah, so
that's why you just rested.
Yep. Yep.
What? Like, duh. I don't.
Yep. So it sounds like Blaze the Nug says, they have some concerns that Dame won't allow himself to heal from things properly. I was hoping he learned that lesson last year with the core injury, but yeah, with especially with calf and muscle injuries, you don't want to push them or anything like that. And it sounds like Dame was wanting to be back on the court so bad, and but
which I get.
Yeah, and I understand. We got off.
So that's why your training staff gotta play it smart.
Yep. So they basically forced him to sit out. He was smarter about this one. he said he didn't start playing until it felt better, and now it seems like it's completely behind him, and it's just a matter of getting back into shape now and being game ready. So it looks like he will make his debut over the weekend, probably in the second night of the back-to-back. And from what he was saying, the last couple days he's had no limitation. Well, this was Wednesday, but he said since that day he felt fine. He's had no limitations in practice, no restrictions, and he's gone full speed and feels completely fine.
I wonder if there's a chance he plays tomorrow then.
There's definitely a chance, but I think
you probably don't want to play him on
back-to-back,
especially with coming rest days after. So yeah.
So my guess is I think we have another back-to-back coming up in December. I think we only have these 2 games in the from Wednesday. I think in a whole week we only have those 2 days.
Yeah.
2 games. So yeah, you just let him play in one of them, and he basically plays 1 game in 7 days. Not push him too much, and maybe sit him out second night of back-to-back like we did with the Pelicans game earlier in the season. I think that's what you do with it. And if in a month or 2 he's fine, then maybe you think about doing back-to-backs again. But I wouldn't push it too much and just sit him on the second night.
We don't have a ton of back-to-backs the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's a good thing.
I think we have one against Minnesota, right? In a couple weeks.
I think so, yeah.
2 games
we
against
definitely have them sprinkled in here or there, but I want to show you something, chat. All right, and this is why, this stretch has sucked. To be an 11-11 sucks, and we could definitely lose tomorrow. Luckily, Utah's going to be on the second night of a back-to-back, because we play at Utah tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Utah's going to be on the second night of a back-to-back.
Pacers Sunday.
Yeah, and then Pacers Sunday.
Halliburton's hurt.
Those are the 2 teams playing each other right now. But I want to show you something. This is why, I am not panicking or worried. And it basically goes along with everything that I've talked about in regards to how ridiculously tough this season has been in terms of schedule and the injuries. So this is strength of schedule when taking into account injuries and opponent's injuries. I don't know if it's taking into account our injuries, Eric.
I think it accounts for everything.
It counts for everything. So it would take into account our injuries. Look at our strength of schedule compared to the rest of the league. The higher the number, the harder. So, yeah. That's what I've been talking about. Our opponents have been tough.
Other than the Bulls, it's double.
Yeah, it's double.
Everyone else, pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, average being 0, I think. So, yeah. I mean, this is just one advanced metric that tries to take a bunch of things into account, but, I mean, if you pay attention to this team, you would know. This team has been hurt. This team has been super injured. This team has played a really tough schedule. So, that's why, on postgame shows, despite losing 7 out of 8 and being frustrated with the losses, I'm not sitting here panicking, and I just want to see this team get healthy and see what it can do. Now, Nas isn't going to be healthy, but honestly, you get GP2 back and you get Dame back, I don't think you'll miss Nas a whole lot.
Well, here's the kind of the silver lining with them announcing it's going to be 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Now he's out for sure, 6 weeks. It's not, is Peyton going to be back? Is Dame going to be back? And if you're someone like Sharp, it's like, how many minutes am I going to play tonight? What's my role going to be in this game? Jabari Walker, am I going to even play? And then you don't play for several games, and you come in a tight game against the Lakers, and you fumble the ball a couple times. Like now you have back to maybe clear roles of, okay, this is your role. Justice Winslow now, hopefully, I don't think Hart's going to be back tomorrow night, but when Hart comes back, now he's back to leading the bench unit, and he's not having to play 30 minutes or whatever. And you can get back to what we were doing at the beginning of the season, where everyone who was playing had kind of defined roles and were playing well in those roles. And then all of a sudden we get injuries and everyone has to play more. And then we have players. How many times have we had players in and out of lineups this year? Dame comes back for a couple games, then gets hurt again. Justice missed a few games, Nurk missed a few games, Jeremy Grant misses a game, Hart misses a game. Like, so all that kind of stuff, it's tough on a team. And I think I was talking in the offseason with Samson Folk of he's sort of the Raptors report or whatever, or Raptors Republic, sorry. And we were talking about how that's like plagued their seasons. Like they've had the players, but there's like every game you didn't know if like Siakam was playing or Fred VanVleet was playing. Like they were in and out of the lineup with injuries that weren't keeping them out for like 6 weeks for sure. But like you never knew what going into the game if they were questionable every game, you know? And that's tough on a team not knowing who's playing when you're preparing for games and things like that. So I guess the only silver lining I can think of is that now with Nas out, you don't have to like force him minutes. You don't have to worry about, is he struggling? Should we bench him for a little bit? Or do we need to play him more to get him going or what? Now all that's out of the window and you can give someone else that role in those minutes and see if they step up.
Yep, absolutely. Any final words for this stream?
Thank everyone for watching, and we'll hope to see you after the game tomorrow night. Hopefully get back above 500. Yep.
I will have a video later tonight talking about the Portland Trail Blazers. I think I'm going to script it right now. I kind of want to script it, so I will focus on that strength of schedule and kind of things that have gone into the start. That should be a pretty good video. Last time I scripted a video, I think it was 2,000 words, and it was like 20 minutes, so I think I need to aim for 1,000 words. I don't need to make it a 5-page essay report. So, anyway, yeah, video later tonight. And then I want to start doing some game previews, so expect some. I can't promise that it'll be every game, but it'll be fun to throw some out there. Just 10-minute previews focusing on the opposing team, because we do pay attention to the rest of the NBA, but we never really we preview games on Blazers Uprise Live and talk about matchups and stuff, but it'll be cool to kind of give you guys some background on our opponents as we reach them and kind of what's been going on with them. So that's something that would be cool to do. Anyway, with that being said, we're out of here. This has been Blazers Uprise Live presented by Bet Online. Remember promo code BELIEVE, BOEAV, if you want to check them out. 50% rewards. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.